Good afternoon to everyone in Europe. Good morning to everyone joining us from the United States. My name is Andrew Castronovo, and I'm an account executive here at TimeSeries. I work with companies here in the United States who are interested in implementing the Mendix platform. I'm also joined by Stefan Newman. Stefan, could you take a moment to please introduce yourself?
My name is Stefan Newman. I'm a customer engagement manager with TimeSeries in the Netherlands. I worked with Mendix for a little over 10 years, and before that had a 12 to 14 years of experience with the IBM portfolio, like web application development and WebSphere.
Excellent. Thank you, Stefan. So just to go over our agenda for today, we're going to start off talking a little bit about TimeSeries as an organization, how we work with Mendix and Siemens. We'll then give a brief overview of Mendix for those of you who are new or unfamiliar with the platform. We'll then talk about how TimeSeries specializes in low-code apps for logistics and transportation, where Stefan will cover a little bit about how we've helped specific customers in the low-code space with Mendix, as well as demo a couple of our smart app templates that work really well for the logistics and transportation industry. Then we'll discuss what TimeSeries offers and how we can make you successful, followed by a live Q&A with both Stefan and myself. Please submit your questions in the GoToMeeting chat, and that's where we'll read the questions from at the end of the webinar. Thank you so much. Just a little bit about TimeSeries here to start. Who we are. We are the #1 Mendix Innovation and Expert Services partner. We have over 250 years of accumulated Mendix experience internally, and we're officially a Siemens Services and Solutions partner. Based on our expertise in Mendix and the work we've done with the Mendix team, since Siemens acquired Mendix in 2018, we were the first Mendix partner of Siemens chosen. We have a global presence and high quality. We have 7 offices, both in Europe and the United States, with over 100 enterprise customers and over 300 project implementations. We've also worked through a proven quick start model to start with Mendix. And that's what we call our industry-specific Smart App Suite templates, which really lower the barrier to start, and we'll cover in much greater detail later on in the presentation. One area that we truly specialize in is proven Mendix app delivery. And we do this with our Center of Excellence, or what we sometimes call our Smart App Factory. And that includes not just delivering and building apps in concert with your team on the Mendix platform, but also developing basically an internal structure to have success long-term with Mendix internally. That's everything from governance to architecture, as well as workshops and insight into how you can integrate open source technologies into your Mendix applications. And we also have these smart app suites, which are pre-built Mendix app templates that also utilize technologies like, say, a Kafka or a Cassandra. These are use cases that we kept seeing across industries with all of our customers. And we'll cover those in a bit greater detail later on, but these are applications that combine the ease of use of off-the-shelf solutions with the configurability of a custom solution. These are some of the customers that TimeSeries has worked with, everyone from a Bain & Company, ConocoPhillips, Love's, Phillips 66, DSM, Deloitte. We really work as partners with all of these organizations to help them in their Mendix practices and ensure their success with the Mendix platform. So now I'll just give a brief overview of Mendix. So I think we all can agree that we currently live in a software-driven world. Whether you are a logistics and transportation company, a manufacturing company, a shipbuilding company, an insurance company, a financial services company, you've had to become a software company in the last 10 or so years. And in this software driven world, there's a challenge that has arisen. The business's demand for net new applications is greatly outpacing IT's ability to deliver on those demands. The business is saying things like, we need to accelerate product time to market. We need to streamline operations and cut costs. We need to digitize our entire business. And through 2021, it's not like this problem's going away. Through 2021, business demands for apps will grow at least 5 times faster than IT's capacity to deliver. And that's a quote from Gartner. And it's not like IT is doing nothing to solve this problem. They're saying things like, I'm not able to respond fast enough to business app requirements. Our business needs me to stay in control. It's hard to rapidly spin up new apps on top of core systems. And they might be implementing things like PaaS or cloud, DevOps, agile development in place of waterfall. They might be trying to hire more developers, which we all know is very difficult given the low unemployment rate for developers countrywide. You might be trying to outsource development, but that gap still exists. And that's why Mendix was created by its founders in 2005. And that's why Siemens acquired Mendix in 2018. And the way Mendix truly fixes this problem is through model-based development rather than traditional development like, say, a Java or a .NET. What this enables is, first of all, your IT team and your traditional developers to develop applications much faster. Modeling is just easier. It also enables technically minded business users to participate in the development process and actually building applications. On top of that, business users who aren't building applications, since they can understand these models, can give feedback throughout the development process. So rather than the business giving their requirements to IT and then IT building the application and showing it to the business, which leads to a lot of mistakes and rework, the business has insight into the application throughout the entire development process. This enables teams to develop apps up to 10 times faster with up to 70% fewer resources. And one thing about Mendix is that its ability to integrate with your core systems is key. Mendix acts as the glue that on top of and that holds together your core systems. This doesn't replace these core systems. It enables you to enhance and build out those core systems with advanced workflows, improved UI and UX, and mobile and offline support, including native mobile. With this specific application that's outlined here, Mendix was used as the glue on top of SAP and Siemens Teamcenter to connect the back-end systems that enable you to update these systems simultaneously from a Mendix application. Now we're going to go over some applications in the low-code logistics and transportation industry. First off, I'll cover our horizontal smart app suite, which I mentioned before, which are use cases that we kept seeing across customers. So we've built these templates that, as I mentioned, combine the ease of use of an off-the-shelf solution with the configurability of a custom solution. And these, as we said before, can connect to any ERP, your CRM, other data sources, as well as be part of your big data and IoT roadmap. Stefan will cover later how the automated planning, as well as smart warehousing applications, can work for the logistics and transportation industry. We've also expanded these offerings to sub-verticals. We have a smart app suite specific to the marine industry, as well as the energy and utilities industry. That goes along with our expertise in additional domains like logistics, as well as manufacturing, machinery and heavy equipment, and medical devices. Stefan, I think now would be a great time for you to talk through some of your experiences with a couple of logistics and transportation providers of Mendix. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with Mamut, they are a Dutch-based company with over 5,000 employees, $20 billion in revenue, and they specialize in engineered heavy lifting and transport of oversized and heavy objects. Now, we discussed earlier in the presentation the importance of integration. Stefan, I know that this was a key reason that Mamut chose both Mendix and TimeSeries. Can you tell me a bit about this decision?
Yes, of course. Mamut was investigating the possibility of low-code platforms. Mendix was one of the options, and they chose Mendix due to their ERP system, which is SAP. Mendix was chosen to be the flexible layer on top of SAP because of the perfect fit with SAP, using the sub of the SAP cloud connectors provided by Mendix and SAP. So integrating with SAP was as easy as publishing the service on SAP side and consuming it on the Mendix side, while using the SAP user logic. So no integration users, just use your current user-based SAP license, no additions needed. This was the main reason why they chose Mendix.
Excellent. And can you tell me a little bit about the first project you worked on with the Mamut team?
The first project was initiated by Mendix themselves. Mendix has expert services, which helps customers start up with Mendix. During the startup of the project, they delivered the Mendix platform and ran it on the SAP HANA cloud platform, and connected that to the SAP environment and did the technical implementation. TimeSeries was selected among a list of all major partners due to the combination of Mendix expertise combined with our innovation team and our strong knowledge of SAP integrations. And for the during the first week in the project, we worked together with Mendix Expert Services and had a handover for the project towards us. And from that moment on, we started delivering the Yard app as it's mentioned inside, and it's a mobile app used to load items for projects with a manual scanner with a Mendix app which was connected to SAP.
Great. And when we spoke before this webinar, you talked about how impressed you were with the internal Mendix capabilities of the Mamut team and the development team that they put together there. Could you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, that is correct. I was very impressed. They had 2 internal employees. They started building their own project within Mendix. And they had no prior Mendix knowledge, but had some IT experience, and one of them had application development or coding experience. I saw the amount of functionality they delivered within a sprint, and that was very impressive. Not only the functionality worked as expected, but was also ready to be used on a large scale. The quality was impressive for someone starting with Mendix. It was great to see that they picked up the possibilities with Mendix so fast. And they use the Mendix forum, the active forum, to ask any questions and any urgent questions. They contacted me directly. And I just needed a few words to explain them how it could work, and then they were off again. So that's very nice to see that the customer is building apps themselves.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear how quickly a team can pick up that skill set. And what are some of the applications that Mamut has built on Mendix since that first project? Like, what problems were they looking to solve?
We did the art application, we did the loading of items, but one of the issues we discovered or noticed is that also items came back from projects and needed to be unloaded. And that process was blocking the loading sometimes. So what we did is we adjusted the Yard app so the unloading process was implemented directly, and items could be unloaded from project A and loaded onto project B with one single click. After that, we did a timesheet registration based upon the rules in SAP. That's for all the people in the field. They needed to register their time, and based upon the rules of the government, they were allowed to put in the time. Then we did a digital work order system because all work orders were printed out, and we digitalized that flow. The last application we did is the Mamut task application. This is an offline application to complete tasks on a remote location without the internet, so it's offline. It contains the registration of hours, the task completion, and has an integrated option for customers to approve the tasks. And it will sync upon a connection with the Mamut systems.
Great. And I know that another logistics and transportation company that you've worked closely with is Kuehne Nagel. Now, Kuehne Nagel is a global transport and logistics company based in Switzerland. They provide sea freight and air freight forwarding, contract logistics, and overland business. And they have offices in 109 countries. And they are the leading global freight forwarder, and they account for, I think, something around 15% of the world's air and sea freight. Stefan, what were the problems you worked with Kuehne Nagel to solve?
The first project we did with Kuehne Nagel was with one of the largest customers, or one of the large customers. They were not flexible enough to adapt to the customer change. The customer was not sure if Kuehne Nagel was the logistic provider to go forward with. And together with Kuehne Nagel, we created a middleware solution which allowed them to adapt to change within weeks. And the first version of that app was released within 6 weeks.
It's great. And who was a part of the project on the Kuehne Nagel side?
We had a fixed delivery date, so we promised together with Kuehne Nagel to the customer that we would deliver it within 6 weeks. We had 3 business engineers, people who were experts with the Mendix platform, combined with 2 dedicated specialists from Kuehne Nagel. And besides those 2 specialists, we had fly-in experts, that's how I call them, from Kuehne Nagel for specific logistics or specific logic or questions available. So they were added to the team as we needed them, and they were offboarded when not needed.
And how did your team and the Kuehne Nagel team collaborate on this first project?
This was on location at Kuehne Nagel in the Netherlands, and we collaborated just by sitting together, working side by side with the Kuehne Nagel specialists. We used the out-of-the-box online environment provided by Mendix to capture any requirements. in an agile way with sprints and stories. And by sitting side by side, we tackled all challenges which appeared, but most importantly, we celebrated every success together. Sometimes with a nice celebration, some nice treats aside.
That's great. And we've been talking about integrations. What were some of the integrations you had to perform on this project, and why was it made easy with the Mendix platform?
We had to integrate with multiple systems on the first project. That was the warehouse management system. We needed to provide the information to the order picking streets, the lanes, and we needed to provide the correct information to the printing software for invoices and custom labels. These were challenging, more challenging integrations than normally because there were no APIs available. So we used the existing ways of integration, the file transfer integrations, and made sure that was fast enough. But normally integrations with Mendix are easy because it's API based. So you have RESTful APIs or SOAP APIs, which can be published, consumed at ease. It's all visual. So you just import an API into your system and you map it to your logic. That sounds more easy than it is actually, but integrations can be done, the happy flow, within a few hours instead of days.
That's amazing. And what was dive in detail, what the finished product was on this first project for Kuhn & Nagel that you collaborated on with their team?
We created a middleware solution which acted as the orchestrator between the customer system and the Kuhn & Nagel systems. The middleware system was the flexible layer which allowed Kuhn & Nagel to adapt to change within weeks instead of months. Normally, a change would take about 6 to 9 months, and after implementing this first project, they were able to change within weeks. And
what positive impact did this have for Kuhn & Nagel, this finished application, this middleware?
The customer who was not sure if Kuhn & Nagel was the logistic provider to go forward with was impressed. They saw the amount of effort we put into the system and the result. And not only were they happy for that product, but they also expanded their business with Kuhn & Nagel after this project. They put more products, brought them to Kuhn & Nagel.
That's great. So this Mendix application didn't just save the customer, it expanded the relationship with the customer. And following that project, how did Kuhn & Nagel create an internal Mendix practice where they could start to build applications without such a strict timeline as this application and this first project, start to build applications internally?
The first few projects, we delivered the team who built the applications or the portals, and Kuhn & Nagel delivered the logistics expertise, the application expertise. And after a few projects, Kuhn & Nagel took over and they started managing their own projects, became responsible for their own projects, and just used our external expertise when needed. I think they created well over 20 applications using the Mendix platform in the past few years.
Excellent. It's an amazing impact on their business, and appreciate you sharing that background on both Kuhn & Nagel and Mamut, Stefan.
Okay.
Now we're going to share demonstrations of our smart warehousing and automated planning uh, smart app templates. And Stefan, if you could give a bit of context around how the automated planning smart app works and could work for logistics and transportation, and then we'll show the demo.
Okay. Yeah, the automated planning engine is something our innovation department created. The planning engine is able to take big amounts of data and process that within milliseconds and provide a new and updated planning based upon business rules which are applicable for the customer for the process they're planning for. What we see in the logistics is that there are some challenges all logistic companies face at this moment. One is environmentally friendly transport and efficient mobility, digitalization, but also e-commerce and online trading has a large impact on logistic companies. The planning engine can be adjusted to fit any planning issue any company might have. It could be planning people, planning production lines, planning trips, or whatever planning issues there are. For example, we can adjust the engine to plan shipments at real time based upon loading capabilities, volume, location, and other variables to avoid empty or inefficient journeys. This example is a digitalization of the planning process, which also contributes to a more environmentally friendly way of transport. So you can be more efficient. Another issue which logistic companies face is the shortage of skilled workers. The automated planning engine can be adjusted to efficiently plan timetables at real time based upon business rules and prioritizations and availability of the employees. This way your current workforce can be managed to fit your customer and also their customer needs. In logistics, it's people, today you order something and you want it the same day delivery, or you want it the next day. That requires a lot from logistic providers. So if you have an efficient planning engine, that will help a lot.
Great, and I think that context will be very helpful in imagining how this smart app template can be configured specifically for any company's needs and specifically the logistics and transportation industry.
Facility and real estate management companies all have the same struggle: how to efficiently dispatch mechanics to solve issues inside the buildings for which they are responsible. This is a tedious task where things such as mechanic certifications, service level agreements, rosters, and travel times need to be taken into account. As the resource pool of mechanics grow, it becomes increasingly hard for service desk employees to make an efficient plan. This leads to higher costs and more SLA violations. This demo shows our field services smart app, which is based on our automated planning engine. In this demo, a company which is responsible for the maintenance of buildings allows their customers to report breakdowns through the app, then automatically assign these service requests to their mechanics, and finally dispatch work orders via another dedicated app just for the mechanics. When a customer logs in, they immediately see the service requests which are outstanding, in progress, or finished. The customer can also open the details of a request to see which mechanic is scheduled to fix the issue and when they are expected to arrive. The customer app can also be used to create a new service request. When the service desk employee logs in, they are shown a dashboard with the most important KPIs. They immediately see which service requests are at risk of SLA violations. They are also presented with a list of service requests which still need to be reviewed. Once a service request has been created by the customer, the service desk employee reviews the service request. If everything is in order, the service request will be approved, which means it can then be broken down into work orders, which are then assigned to a mechanic. Manually assigning work orders to mechanics taking into account factors such as certifications, service level agreements, mechanic availability, and travel times is a complex task. Our planning engine will take care of this automatically, thereby allowing service desk employees to spend their time on things that really matter, such as scaling up on-call mechanics if SLAs are in danger of being violated. Although the planning engine will plan all work orders completely automatically using AI algorithms, the service desk employee can still override this planning if they see a need for this. The application will automatically detect if mechanics are not allowed to pick up certain work orders based on their certification level. The planning engine will always respect manual overrides done by the service desk employees. The planning engine uses artificial intelligence to create the planning. Complex scenarios such as service requests with multiple work orders, with different required certifications, and also dependencies between service requests and preferred time windows are supported. Once a work order has been assigned to a mechanic, it will become visible in the mechanic app. Here, mechanics can see which orders they have been assigned. They can indicate when they start working on a ticket and when they are done, thereby automatically taking care of our registration process. Customers can sign off on completed work orders, which allows for easier invoice processes. Finally, the mechanic can see where they need to go to handle their workload. Service requests are automatically assigned to mechanics while at the same time allowing for manual intervention by the service desk employees. This solution has led to higher efficiency and less service level agreement violations. If you'd like more information about this solution, feel free to contact us via info@timeseries.com. For our complete Smart App suite, visit suite.timeseries.com.
And Stefan, if you could do the same about the smart warehousing smart app template. Tell us how logistics and transportation companies can use it, and then we'll segue into the demonstration.
Okay. One of the other smart app templates is about smart warehousing and the speed. Increasing volumes and need for transparency require more from logistic providers than before. By using RFID, which we use with the smart warehousing in combination with Mendix, it will allow logistic providers to provide the possibility for almost real-time information to their customers, but also to the customers of their customers regarding the inbound and outbound processes without human interference. If you take a look at, for example, e-commerce, it's changing the way global trade is working, but it's also changing, adapting to the consumer habits. This requires logistic companies to be more transparent to fit consumer needs and keep adapting to the changing customer journey. For example, if you order something with a web shop and you want it delivered, it's nice to be updated. And with RFID, you could do almost real-time updated information, send it to the clients about their order being picked, their order leaving the warehouse. So let's see how the smart warehousing template could fit.
Keeping track of the physical location and state of your inventory is key when running an efficient business, whether you're building ships, renting out materials, or producing and shipping consumer goods. This demo shows our smart warehousing smart app template, which is based on our integrations with RFID and barcode-related hardware in combination with Mendix. This template is often integrated with an ERP system, such as SAP. RFID technology allows for bulk scanning of items without having to physically scan each item. RFID tags can be read through many materials, including paper, plastic, and wood. This technology has a multitude of use cases such as track and trace, factory automation, inventory management, and access logging. In this demo application, a company which has a warehouse keeps track of the location and state of its physical inventory. When the user logs in, they are presented with a dashboard highlighting relevant information. This dashboard can be customized to meet the customer's needs. Using quick filters, the user can quickly navigate to items which are in a certain state, for example, to quickly see which items are damaged. At the core of the application are the items. These represent things in the physical world. The application manages the complexity of tracking the location and status of these items. An item has a unique ID which can be tracked across the application. This ID can be used to create labels with QR codes and optionally RFID tags, which are then attached to the physical items. These labels can be scanned with the mobile app and with both stationary and handheld RFID readers, which can be then used to update the location and status of the items. The application keeps a full history of the location of all items, which helps prevent lost items and can identify bottlenecks in a workflow. In order to increase transparency, any changes to an item are automatically stored as a timestamped event. This allows an in-depth analysis of the entire history of an item, including visibility into which users handled the item. Any type of file, so pictures, designs, manuals, documents, PDFs, and Excel sheets can be added to an item. The advantage of using RFID is that items can be scanned through packing materials, boxes, etc. Scanning is done in bulk, which means it is easy to quickly identify unique items and perform actions on them at scale. Using stationary RFID readers in strategic locations allows the smart warehousing application to automatically update items once they pass these readers. This can, for example, be used to automatically change the location or status of an item once it arrives at a certain place in a warehouse. Items can be packaged together in containers. A container can be anything in the physical world which can contain multiple items, such as boxes, pallets, etc. Containers can be nested, which means a pallet can contain multiple boxes, which each contain multiple items. Containers in our application have the same features as an item, such as a location, status, and events. Most warehouses, shipyards, or construction sites have items which are not valuable enough to track individually. For these types of items, it is usually sufficient to know how much of the items are available on site. This is what the materials are designed for. They have a quantity which can be decreased when scanning a QR label attached to where the material is stored. Materials also have all the same features as items. Fulfilling customer orders often involves walking through the warehouse to find the exact items which are part of an order. This is a time-consuming and error-prone process which can directly impact customer satisfaction in the case of incorrect shipments. Our smart warehousing application contains the concept of pick lists to facilitate the order picking process. A pick list contains a list of items and materials which need to be picked. It also defines the target location, status, and container these items should be assigned to. Once the pick list is finalized, these items are automatically updated with this information. The actual order picking process is facilitated through the use of mobile devices or RFID scanners. The mobile application uses the QR codes to uniquely identify items and execute actions on them, such as changing location or status. The quantity of materials can also easily be adjusted from the mobile device. A pick list can quickly be opened by scanning the associated QR code on a purchase order. In this example, we are picking orders which need to be shipped from the warehouse to a shop. Once the pick list is opened, the user can start the order picking process. During the scanning, the app automatically detects if the scanned items are indeed part of the pick list. Once the user indicates they are done with order picking, the app will check if all required items have been scanned. If this is not the case, the user is informed and can then choose to finish anyway or continue the order picking process. Once the pick list is finished, the scanned items are updated with a new location. An administrator can configure various parts of the smart warehousing application themselves. Each location can be configured by the admin, which is key in keeping track of the items. The application contains item categories and workflows which are also configurable by the admin. It can be specified to which categories the statuses are applicable. Furthermore, the administrator can configure the RFID readers with which to integrate and indicate which location and status items should be automatically assigned to once an RFID reader scans a passing item. In this demo, you have seen our smart warehousing app template in action. Its main goal is to keep track of the locations, status, and history of items. This is particularly valuable at locations where many unique items are stored, and the risk of misplacing an item is significant, such as a warehouse, a shipyard, or a construction site. By using RFID, items can be scanned in bulk, reducing the need for manual actions, thus keeping inventory information up to date automatically. This solution leads to less time searching for lost items, more transparency, and higher quality shipments. If you'd like more information about this solution, feel free to contact us via info@timeseries.com. For our complete Smart App Suite, visit suite.timeseries.com.
And after those demonstrations, I think now is a good time to cover how TimeSeries can make you successful. And it's essentially three ways. It's rapid delivery of custom smart apps. So custom Mendix templated apps and TimeSeries pilot packages. That's either the templates that you saw or custom applications that your company needs to build that are separate from these app templates. We can give you support and setup for your internal Mendix Center of Excellence. We covered this a little bit before, but we're truly expert in Mendix training and enablement, co-delivery, architecture workshops, as well as if you're an existing Mendix customer, we do app health checks, we can help with governance and more. And then for those of you in the Siemens network who are on the webinar, if you're a partner of Siemens and you specialize in a Siemens product that is outside of Mendix, we have put together a partner-to-partner program, which is a high-quality framework for vendors to leverage Mendix expertise of TimeSeries for your prospective customers. So that can be anything from templated app builds for your customers or helping you throughout the Mendix process of exploration of your customers. So if you're interested in these templates, what are the next steps? Well, we typically do a fit gap analysis to start, which is a time where we'll find the degree to which additional customizations are needed to fit the templates. Stefan covered how that automated planning smart app could be configured for the logistics and transportation industry specifically. This is the time where we'd figure out how much customization actually needs to be done. Then following that fit gap analysis, we're follow up with an offer within 1 week. And then we'll do an implementation project bandwidth. That's typically between a few days and a few weeks. And then we'll figure out the license bandwidth. That's typically somewhere between 500 and 5,000 euros / dollars per month. And from that project kickoff with the design sprint to the first go live is typically around 2 weeks. So I think now is the time for questions. We have one here. It's asking, how does Mendix licensing in general work? It's a great question. It's pretty simple on the surface. It has nothing to do with the number of people who are building applications internally. It has everything to do with the number of applications you have to build, which is you can buy a 1-app package, a 3-app bundle, or an enterprise license that enables you to build unlimited applications. And then the pricing is also based on final end users. And that pricing changes whether it's internal users or users who are external to your organization. And Stefan, I think this next question would be a good one for you. It says, tell us a little bit about deployment options for Mendix applications.
Out of the box, Mendix can be deployed to the Mendix cloud. That's a cloud provided by Mendix, and it's hosted by Mendix. It's part of the license. And after that, you have all major cloud systems, Azure, IBM, SAP HANA Cloud or SAP Cloud, but also AWS Cloud. It can be deployed there based on the Docker images, but it's also possible to deploy on Linux or on Windows with an on-premise system.
Excellent. And what if some organizations that work with Mendix are interested in Mendix and TimeSeries either are a government organization or work with government organizations? What are some of the deployment options you've seen there?
Some governments we see on-site deployments. For Dutch government, we implemented the Mendix. We implemented Cloud Foundry locally in their own data center, and Mendix apps are published to that cloud, to their own private cloud. But we also see on-premise installations on Windows machines. due to connectivity to internal systems which are not could not be made publicly available.
Excellent, excellent. Then the last question we have here says, you noted the process for setting up a call regarding the application templates. What about for an app that we want to build from scratch? And that's a great question. We being TimeSeries, have what we call pilot packages. So that the rhythm of that interaction is quite similar to that fit gap analysis for the app templates, except you'd replace the time we need to figure out what sort of configurations have to be made. It would be outlining how we build that application and create an estimate for you, both for a license as well as for services to help you build with that application. And typically that is a 2-week process. And if you'd like to learn more about our pilot packages, please feel free to reach out to me directly or anyone at TimeSeries. It looks like that's all we have for questions. I thank everyone for your time today and appreciate it. And thanks so much. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. Stefan, thank you so much for your time and telling us a little bit about your experience at Mamut, Kuehne+Nagel, as well as outlining how those smart app templates are valuable for organizations in logistics and transportation.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.